Also known as the Devil's Triangle, the Bermuda Triangle exists between Bermuda, Florida and Puerto Rico, with it being one of the most mysterious locations on Earth. Numerous ships and aircrafts are said to have disappeared inside of the triangle, with many suggesting that paranormal or extraterrestrial forces are at play here. What are your thoughts on the Bermuda Triangle? Let me know down below. These are the top 5 Bermuda Triangle horror stories. Let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, we have USS Cyclops. The USS Cyclops was the US Navy's biggest ship, so how could it possibly vanish without a trace? Well, this question has been on the lips of many since March of 1918, which was when the enormous vessel disappeared while on a voyage between the West Indies to Baltimore. The vessel was around 550 feet long, with a crew of around 306 and around 11,000 tons of manganese aboard. In March 1918, the USS Cyclops left Brazil, voyaged to Barbados to resupply, before heading on the long journey home to Baltimore. However, the journey was never completed, with something going awry, and the large vessel never being seen or heard from again. Creepy stuff. It vanished without even an SOS. The last recorded message from the USS Cyclops simply said, I quote, "Weather fair. All well." All was definitely not well though. Now, just like the upcoming stories on our list, there is no definitive end. The disappearance remains unsolved, with investigators being absolutely stumped as to what might have happened. There have, however, been numerous theories surrounding the disappearance, with many theorizing that the USS Cyclops vanished in the Bermuda Triangle. What that means, we do not know. Some think it's a giant whirlpool that sucks you down into the depths of hell. And by some, I mean me. It seems plausible. Before we jump into number 4, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps us out a lot in the YouTube algorithm and pushes our videos. So if you like us and want to support us, give it a thumbs up. Coming in at number 4, we have Witchcraft. Back in December of 1967, a cruiser named Witchcraft sailed from Miami with her captain Dan Barak and his friend Father Patrick Horgan. The Witchcraft was a 23-foot yacht, with the two men sailing it to get a good view of Miami's Christmas lights. How sweet. However, around a mile from shore, the Coast Guard received a call from the captain stating that they had hit something, but the damage was not substantial. They were to be towed to shore though, with the Coast Guard heading their way, expected to reach the vessel in around 19 minutes. However, once the Coast Guard arrived in the area where the distress call was received, the area was found to be completely deserted, with no sign of any ship having been stranded there. Now, many may speculate that perhaps it sank. In 19 minutes, I don't think so. Plus, the yacht in which the men were on was supposed to be virtually unsinkable. Not to mention, aboard the boat were life jackets, life rafts, and various other life-saving devices. However, none of these items seemed to have been used, and the boat was completely gone. Coast Guard searched hundreds of square feet for the yacht, but nothing was ever found, with speculation and word of mouth being all that remains. Coming in at number 3, we have Carroll A. Deering. Carroll A. Deering was a commercial schooner and is perhaps the most written about maritime mysteries of the 20th century. Back on January 31st, 1921, Carroll A. Deering was discovered around the rocks of Hatteras Diamond Shoals in North Carolina, with many speculating that the vessel was involved in rum running. However, when investigators boarded the ship, they discovered the vessel to be completely deserted. All the crew members were gone, along with all of their belongings. Equipment, logbooks, and even the life rafts were missing. The ship has since been dubbed the Ghost Ship of the Outer Banks, with it disappearing during the same time as many other vessels in the Bermuda Triangle area. With so many vessels disappearing or being discovered in the Bermuda Triangle area, you would think there would be information or at least some evidence that exists in the mysterious waters. However, we are no closer to solving any of these mysteries. The Bermuda Triangle certainly holds all of the answers, but the cost you must pay to get those answers seems to be life-threatening. Would you dare go there? If you want to die. Coming in at number 2, we have Mary Celeste. Mary Celeste may very well be one of the most famous stories on our entire list, with the tale of its shipwreck going down in history. On December 5th, all the way back in 1872, the Mary Celeste was discovered adrift in choppy waters. This was surprising, as Mary Celeste had left New York City 8 days prior and should have already arrived in Italy, yet it never did. Now, the boat that discovered the Mary Celeste investigated, boarding the ship and searching the quarters. No one was aboard and nothing was out of place. The only thing missing was the one and only lifeboat. Food, water, and alcohol was all on board still, but not a person in sight. No trace of the people aboard the Mary Celeste, or even the missing lifeboat for that matter, have ever been found. Now, many theories were thrown around, including pirates. That's right, many thought pirates boarded the ship, took the crew, and left the vessel floating in the waters. However, that possibility was quickly ruled out considering nothing was taken from the ship and valuables were still intact. Other theories surrounding the Mary Celeste included criminal conspiracy, alien abduction, as well as an attack by a giant squid, the latter being absolutely insane, but personally my favourite. Others have theorized a natural disaster, but most have credited it to the Bermuda Triangle. Why else would a crew just mysteriously disappear? And finally, in at number 1 we have the cursed ship. Now this story is utterly baffling, just as the previous ones have been, but this one has left many dumbfounded as to what actually happened. In 1810, a 210-foot long schooner named Ellen Austin was sailing from New York to London when it began to head towards the Bermuda Triangle. It was in the general vicinity of the triangle that Ellen Austin stumbled upon a vessel moving aimlessly across the waters. When Ellen Austin approached and the crew boarded the unknown vessel, they found no one aboard. However, it appeared to still be seaworthy. The baffling thing about the unmanned vessel was that there appeared to be no signs of trouble. Everything was in order, including food, personal belongings, and even alcohol. The only things missing were the captain's logbook and the nameplate of the ship. The captain of Ellen Austin ordered the salvage crew to guide the ship back home. However, after 2 days, the ships got separated by a nasty storm, but once it settled, the unnamed ship was nowhere to be seen. A few days after the storm, however, the captain observed the vessel from a lookout, only to realize that the vessel appeared to be drifting aimlessly. Once again, just like when they initially discovered it. After hours of sailing, Ellen Austin caught up to the vessel, only to discover that no one was on board and the salvage crew were gone. Very creepy indeed. There seems to be no explanation for this other than the Bermuda Triangle being some sort of cause, or perhaps even a curse that was placed on the unnamed vessel. What are your thoughts exactly then? Let me know down below. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with that list? Would you ever dare sail towards the Bermuda Triangle? I assume your answer is no. What's the craziest story you've ever heard? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos. Top 5 upcoming 2021 horror movies part 2. Asher Smith said Antlers and Halloween Kills are the only 2 I'm really bothered about. Wow, you're really limiting yourself here. Antlers I'm very excited about. Halloween Kills I'm also very excited about. But I'm also excited about A Quiet Place 2 and Spiral and even The Conjuring 3. I mean, I don't like to say it, but also I like to say it. I can't wait, to be honest. The Bright Side said you'll never know how much your vids have helped me. Well, that's very sweet. I really, really appreciate that. And I know who you are. You run the Central Dark fan account. So thank you. Charles Snow said, this made my day. I needed some wholesome horror content right now and this was perfect. Thank you. You are very welcome. We love some wholesome horror content. That's what you can guarantee from this channel. Wholesome horror content. Not always wholesome. Not if I'm hosting. Sometimes it's not wholesome if I'm hosting. But horror content nonetheless. Mask Maker Gingy New said, Lucy, our Dark Queen, what horror film are you most pumped for? I feel like I just answered this. I think out of all of them, I'm most excited for A Quiet Place 2. Antlers. Okay, Antlers, A Quiet Place 2, and Spiral. I'm very excited for The Conjuring 3 as well. And Halloween Kills. All of them. Like, they're all great, and I'm so excited. Soft Munchie said, everything was fine when I watched Don't Breathe up until the turkey baster, and I was kind of like, oh, so this is the direction it's going. I'm okay. This is fine. I was, in fact, not okay. My thoughts exactly coming out of that movie. I watched it, I was like, oh, I knew as soon as I saw it in his hand, I was like, oh, but it wasn't, the part that really triggered me the most was when it went in his mouth. Ooh, that was actually really triggering, and that's what I think about at night, and I hate it. I can't return to that movie. I think I've watched it twice, and that was already too many times, so I definitely don't want to watch the sequel. Because I have a feeling they'll bring that turkey baster back. Nerdy Nightmare said, could you do a top 5 horror movie ghost, please? Maybe. It's a possibility. Maybe I'll add it. We'll see. Depends if I'm in a good mood. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you later.